Alright, so in this video, let's look at the menu here. So the menu is just the right side at the top, of course, at the right side of the Photoshop, and we got file, edit, image, layer, something like that. The reason for not introducing the menu sooner, because yeah, I think as a digital artist, you seldom use the menu. Okay, so I think 99% of the time you just focus on your canvas and tool, shortcut, the color, the brushes, as well as the layers. So you don't need to worry about the menu too much, unless you want to change some specific settings or just do a complete overhaul of your workspace. You just click the window and just add something. Okay, so add and drag and drop, so overhaul of the workspace. Unless you do that, you seldom use the menu, and we will give you a more detailed explanation of the menu later in the course, when we introduce some of the specific tool that we have to click the top menu bar in order to achieve that. Until that time, we just give you a quick browse, go through of all the menu here. So let's look at it. So the Photoshop file, you can open file, you can close file, you can save file, and the key point is that you know the difference between save and save as. So save is just overwrite the file that we're working on, and save as another file, another name. You can even change the format of the file, and yeah, that is will be pretty important if you want to save the file in another name and another format, and email that to somebody. Okay, and you can even export. Okay, so the export, I think 19% of the time would use the quick export as PNG, because PNG is the pretty useful format. They can preserve as much information as possible and keep the file size as small as possible. So it's pretty good, and so that they're single out, and you can click and you can just export that as a PNG file, and you can upload to your website, something like that. And if you want to change the file to a different format, you can export as, and you can even change the export preferences, which we will cover when we finish our painting our digital artwork, and I will show you guys how it's done. And let's quickly browse through, because I want to save time, and because I think you will just spend 1 or 2% of the time using the tool here. Okay, so the edits is heavily used, I think, but most of the time it's done by using a shortcut. Okay, so edit, we can edit say the toolbar, menus, and we can even change our keyboard shortcut. Okay, so if you click it, and you will be shown a keyboard shortcut and menus, and you can customize the menu as well. So yeah, you can customize that. You can even browse that, and you can see all the shortcuts. So yeah, it's pretty helpful if you want to customize and you want to just to make your customize the shortcut. And if you forgot a shortcut, you can just check it up. Okay, so yeah, pretty helpful. And image, you can duplicate image, you can increase the canvas size. Remember at the beginning of the course, when we create our file, I said that we can always change that later on. If you want to change the image size or canvas size, you can always click here. And of course, you will see that Photoshop is heavily rely on the shortcut. You can even using shortcuts and change the canvas size. Okay, so if you are unsatisfied with the canvas size, you can always change that. And layer, the reason we got layer here is that the layer here may not fulfill 100% of your needs of the changing of the layer, so we got a more layer option here, and we will cover that later. As long as you know, I think for now you just know that the layer is just like the layer here. We can change a layer, we can add a layer, we can duplicate layer, something like that, but adding more options here. Okay, and type, I think we seldom use type, okay, because this is more like when they dealing with font, text, something like that. So we seldom use it because most of the time we'll be drawing, okay. And select is pretty useful, especially if you want to add some selection and add a mask, which we will cover heavily in the later tutorial, because you'd like to hold a certain part of the image fixed, and you want to add some of the drawing without the interference with the layer that you want to focus. And if you want to do some sort of transformation, you can add the mask first in order to don't mess up with the whole image. So the selection part is pretty important, and we can harness the power of the Photoshop because Photoshop's algorithm is pretty good. So they can automatically select a lot of things. So yeah, it's heavily used, and we will cover that. Okay. And the filter is my favorite part, especially if you are a photographer, and we can add a lot of default filter, blur, and noise, render, something like that. If you also watch my Python and programming course, I think I covered the computer programming, how to programming all these filters, what's the logic, what's the algorithm behind the filter. We covered that. So if you're interested, you can go to see my IT's course. Okay, so yeah, and the most exciting part about filter is that we even got a filter library, a gallery. It's like a library. Okay, so you can try things out, and like you are using a filter app, you just click it and you can see what you're going to see as your whole image. So you can kind of apply the filter to your image, and then you can change the options of the filter. So pretty helpful. And 3D, we seldom use that because I think most of the people who use 3D is working in some ads. Okay, so advertisements or or some illustrations that you need to change that. I think most of the time is using 3D to work with the some products or ads or some products detail. Okay, so yeah, but I seldom use it, and you know that Photoshop can kind of using the algorithm to change the 3D and to render it even. So yeah, it's a pretty cool function. And of course, view, we can zoom in, zoom out, something like that. To flip, I think flip is pretty important, especially with drawing. And I think our eye is a little bit uneven. I think everyone got a pretty uneven eye, even though you think that two dots is at the same line. If you flip it, you will notice that the thing that you draw, especially the person's face, because we got a special ability to recognize people's face. If you flip it, you'll find it a little bit weird, and you're going to find something that you haven't noticed before, and you can change that. So flip, horizontal, and yeah, pretty important and pretty helpful. And all that zoom in, zoom out, we already cover that, and we can also use the shortcut to cover that. As you guys can see, we got all the shortcut here, so just you can use the mouse to click, or you can use the shortcut. Plugin is a pretty powerful tool, and if you know a little bit of coding, you can even use your own code to write the plugin for Photoshop and manage that and to install that to enhance the function of the Photoshop. But that's pretty advanced and pretty customized thing. If we cover or we encounter some of the plugin that I think is pretty good for you, I will cover that in the later video. Okay, and the window, we have already discussed that. If you want to do a huge overhaul of your workspace, you can use the window to adding more things here, and you can even hide things by unclick. For example, color, you unclick, it's gone. So we already covered that.